Today we're diving into 6 new isekai and fantasy anime where the protagonist is so ridiculously overpowered the plot doesn't know how to behave. Expect chaos, revenge, glow-ups and power scaling so wild it bends physics and common sense. Kicking off with number 6, my gift level 99.99. Unlimited Gacha, backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge. Alright, this one starts exactly how every trust nobody anime should start. With our boy getting betrayed so brutally, even Ainzo Ulgaon would say, damn, that's cold. Our protagonist gets tossed into the worst dungeon imaginable, basically the anime equivalent of being thrown behind the fridge where all the dust and suffering live. But instead of dying like the haters expected, he activates the most disrespectful skill imaginable, a level 9999 gacha ability that spits out weapons and allies so broken the devs must have been asleep. The tone flips from tragedy to, I'm coming for everybody's wigs real fast. Every revenge moment hits like peak Tensura energy mixed with that early Shield hero rage arc. And yes, he starts pulling companions that look like final bosses pretending to be support units. The villains stand absolutely no chance. They talk big, pose dramatically, then get folded like laundry. What really sells this anime is how shamelessly fun it is. The MC isn't just strong. He's dangerously efficient, the kind of character who ends fights before the music even finishes loading. If you enjoy watching scumbag nobles get emotionally demolished, gear that breaks every rule, and a protagonist who treats revenge like a full-time job with benefits, this one goes hard. And trust me, by the end of episode 1 you'll be whispering, yeah, they deserved it. Sliding to number 5, the Banished Court Magician aims to become the strongest. You already know the formula. Genius wizard serves the kingdom, saves everybody repeatedly, and the royal court thanks him by saying, pack your bags, buddy, you're mid. The disrespect is astronomical. Our guy gets banished like he's some disposable NPC, but instead of sulking, he basically says, fine, I'll go become the strongest person alive out of spite. And that's where it gets fun. This anime feels like peak fantasy comfort food sprinkled with righteous vengeance. The magic system is flashy, the fights are crisp, and the MC's growth is so rapid, the kingdom that kicked him out starts sweating like, hey, maybe we misread his performance review. No kidding. What I love is how unbothered the protagonist becomes once he leaves. He goes from overworked government employee to touch grass, breathe air, annihilate monsters for fun, energy. The character interactions slap too. He keeps accidentally flexing on people who severely underestimate him, and the reactions are pure gold. You'd think they saw a dragon wearing sunglasses. Is the plot straightforward? Yes. Is it still incredibly satisfying to watch a humble, soft-spoken guy casually break the world's power scaling? Absolutely. If you're a fan of stories where the underdog gets the last laugh and the old workplace slowly realizes they messed up on an international level, this one is deliciously petty in the best way. Landing on number 4, Nageki no Bourei wa Intai Shitai 2. Season 2 pulls up like, remember everything you thought you understood about this world? Delete that. Our overpowered ghostly protagonist returns with even more I didn't ask to be this strong, but here we are energy. And the way he interacts with other characters is still peak comedy. He tries so hard to chill, but every time he sneezes, someone thinks the apocalypse started early. This season widens the world building, throwing us deeper into political drama, new threats, and emotional beats that sneak up on you. The MC still wants a peaceful retirement, but the universe treats him like free customer service. Every problem finds him, and every villain instantly regrets their life decisions within 30 seconds. What makes it fun is the balance of wholesome and chaotic. One moment he's trying to give advice like a tired uncle. The next, he's casually unleashing power so excessive it feels like the animators are showing off. And the supporting cast, they're still adorable, still dramatic, still convinced he's some mythical savior, even though he's just trying to clock out permanently. If you enjoyed the mix of comedy, emotion, and absurd overpowered flexing in Season 1, this second season upgrades everything without losing the charm. Plus, and I cannot stress this enough, the final fight scene goes stupidly hard. But trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Looking at number 3, Shuumatsu no Valkyrie III. Season 3 of Record of Ragnarok says, Hope you stretched, because these fights are about to rearrange your spine. This show has always been peak mythology meets WWE, but Season 3 ramps up the intensity with matchups so hype you'll forget to blink. Our focus here isn't on one OP character. It's an entire roster of overpowered legends, gods, and historic icons throwing hands like the fate of humanity is a tournament arc written by a caffeine-powered maniac. The choreography is wild. The character designs are ridiculous in the best way. And the emotional build-up before each fight still hits like a truck. Even better, the show gives humanity some of the most cracked fighters we've seen yet. Their abilities border on supernatural anime energy even though they're supposed to be ordinary mortals. Yeah, right. Half of them fight like DLC characters that weren't properly tested. And the gods, bro. Every new divine opponent looks like they walked straight out of a gym sponsored by Thunder and Ego. The power scaling is so outrageous it becomes comedy, but the drama and backstories keep the stakes high. If you've been waiting for the series to push its animation, storytelling and intensity further, Season 3 might be your favorite yet. It's loud, it's dramatic, it's over the top, and it absolutely delivers. Sliding to number 2, Monster Strike Deadverse Reloaded. This reboot feels like the franchise went into the lab, looked at its old self and said, let's evolve. Deadverse Reloaded sharpens everything. Cleaner animation, tighter pacing, and an OP protagonist who feels like a walking cheat code. Our main character dives into Deadverse, a digital battlefield that's basically what would happen if Fate and SAO had a chaotic child. The monsters are nastier, the stakes are higher, and the combat scenes are way more dynamic. The protagonist's ability to sync with powerful entities is borderline unfair, but that's exactly why it works. He's the kind of guy who unlocks abilities the devs probably intended to patch out. The character moments are surprisingly strong too. Friendship dynamics, rival tension, emotional beats. The story actually slows down at the right moments without losing hype. And when the action hits, it hits hard. The movement, the impact frames, the scale, everything screams we're cooking this time. If you've slept on Monster Strike before, this reboot is basically the franchise grabbing you by the shirt and saying, no, seriously, watch me. It brings modern polish, entertaining world building, and a lead who isn't just strong, he's stylish about it. And honestly, that alone makes it worth the ride. Landing at number 1, Persona 5 The Animation. Yes, Persona 5 might not be brand new, but this adaptation still hits with that fresh punch of supernatural style, swagger, and OP protagonist energy. Joker is the definition of calm confidence. He strolls into the metaverse like he owns the place, steals the hearts of villains, then dips with the smoothness of a man who's never been late to anything. This anime gives you a world full of corrupt adults, twisted desires, and shadow bosses that look like eldritch nightmares brought to life. And the Phantom Thieves? They remain one of the most iconic squads in modern anime and gaming. Their chemistry is hilarious, chaotic, and surprisingly emotional. Every character gets a moment to shine. But Joker? He's the star quarterback of this entire system. The action sequences mix supernatural combat with that slick Persona flair, masks ripping, personas roaring, flashy spell effects exploding everywhere. It's dramatic, stylish, and unmistakably Persona. Does the pacing get rushed sometimes? Yes. Do we forgive it because Joker is folding enemies like origami with Arsene standing behind him looking majestic? Also yes. This adaptation is a ride full of attitude, rebellion, and some of the coolest anime aesthetics you'll ever see. If you want style, power fantasies, and a protagonist who radiates silent menace, this sits comfortably at the top. And that wraps up our rundown of new isekai and fantasy anime packed with overpowered leads, shaking their worlds apart. Tell me which one hits your watch list first, and drop your own OP favorites in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe for more anime deep dives, and stay tuned. The next list might surprise you.